We are going to be taking a look at this office building in Stevenson, Washington, and I'm going to be using an industrial office calculator to figure out how much we should be paying per square foot. It's a really simple first order approximation of what the property can sustain. Instead of using comps to analyze what a property is worth, you should be looking at what that property itself can sustain. If a property is listed for $1 million, it should be able to bring in enough income to support the returns needed for $1 million property. Let's dig in. So they're asking for $1.1 million, $174 a square foot for this building. It is 6,332 square feet, 100% lease. Current NOI is $78,000. It's a long-term government tenant built specifically for the state of Washington. Parking, 30 independent stalls. So we have a lot of parking. If you are not aware, as I was until a couple seconds ago, and so you're next to Carlson, you're in the gorge. You have Stevenson here, and then the Bridge of the Gods to get over to Cascade Locks on the Oregon side, Bonneville. And then you're about 30 or so minutes away from Portland and Vancouver. I wouldn't say it's a terrible spot for that. Let's look at the flyer real quick. They might have more information on the flyer. So this is the business center for Washington State Department of Children, Youth, and Families. Here's the NOI, offered at 1.1. Cars 100% leased. Leasing term expires in 2 years for the 5-year option. Parking, 30 parking spots. Cap rate is 7.1. Yeah, 7.1. It should be a little higher, but 7.1 is not as bad as some of the other ones that we've seen. In landpricecalculator.com, if you can go over to analysis tools on the square foot calculator for industrial, this gives you a really good first order approximate of what a property can sustain. Let's find out how much rents are. So in Washougal, available in request. 24, 25 to 29. But there's no way we're going to get 25 to 29 over here. 35. Yeah, okay. So you can say about $18 a square foot. It doesn't say anywhere that it's a triple net, because if it was, they would say it. So here in the calculator, let's just say about $18 a square foot. If I were to get a loan, let's say 6.5 and then work up and down, there are 6,332 leasable feet. Expense percentages, this is not triple net, so we will probably, let's assume that we're paying all the utilities. Like 25% of our income is going to go towards expenses. And that's going to be, so a good heuristic for smaller multifamily is about 50%, but in this case it's about 25%. I'm going to want about a 10% cash on cash return with a 30% down. For this property, at this interest rate, at these leasable square feet, I'm looking at $155 a square foot for the building value. I'm cash flowing $4.68 a square foot annually with a debt service coverage ratio of 1.53. A bank is going to love that because they're normally looking at 1.25. Cap rate of, so that 8.7 is closer to what that property is. And then a building value of $985,000. Then the offer to seller after you take out the buyer's agent fee and closing fees is $956,000. That's not that bad. That's not that far off the mark on what they're asking. We can see if we can look up what they bought it for. If you go Stevenson, GIS, assessment, and counties, we find yes. The RAPS system. Okay, the records and parcel search. Let's grab that address one more time. Pretty much every county and city is going to have some sort of search where you can find information about properties. 266 Southwest 2nd Street, 0.2 of an acre. Vine Street Investors. Search for records on this parcel. The accessor information back in 1996 for $88,000. Okay, I mean, yeah, so it's being assessed at $1 million. I don't see a problem with this. So there's this property here in Stevens, Washington, that's going for 1.1. And if you get it for $950,000, you're able to get a 10% cash and cash return, assuming 25%. Now let's just assume, maybe it is net, triple net, and you're like paying 5% of your income. Then you could pay 1.2 million and still get 10%. Or if you're paying a lot of utilities, then $600,000. When you get it in diligence, figuring out what this expense number is going to be, that's going to be pretty important. But you can bump that up to 12% if it's lower to like 120 and still be at that 950, or you'd have to bump it down to like 8% cash and cash return if it ends up being about 30%. Yeah, not exact, but it's right there. So all in all, I think this is priced pretty fair. Anyway, I think this is a good property. This could be a good deal. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to get comments on the calculator. A lot of people that use it, they say that it matches with their internal figures, and so I figure I'd just make it better. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just let me know. Yeah, thanks, and I will see you in the next one.